The day started like every other good day in my life. Before leaving for work, I kissed my wife. "See you tonight," Olivia said with a smile. "Don't miss me too much." She left. No promises. My daughter Sophie ran into the kitchen. "Daddy," I caught her before she crashed into me. "Easy there, princess. Will you be home for dinner?" "I wouldn't miss it." "You promised." "I know." She pointed a finger at me. "Last time you were late." "When time? It still counts." Olivia shook her head. "She's definitely your daughter." I smiled. At that moment, my life felt complete. A loving wife, a beautiful daughter, a house we spent years paying for, 10 years of marriage. Everything felt solid. Everything felt real. I had no idea it was all about to break. The workday ends quickly. Around 5 o'clock, I got into my car and started driving home. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Instead, I answered. "Hello." A strange voice spoke. "Your wife isn't where she says she is." My grip tightened on the steering wheel. "What?" "Your wife isn't where she says she is." Who is this? The caller hung up. I stared at the screen. What kind of sick joke is that? I tossed the phone onto the passenger seat. For several minutes, I tried to forget about it. People played cruel games all the time. That had to be it. Nothing more. But then memories started creeping into my mind. Olivia staying late at work. Olivia turning her phone face down. Olivia stepping into another room whenever she answered calls. Small things. Things I ignored. Things I trusted. I shook my head. No, I refused to believe it. When I arrived home, Sophie opened the door. "Daddy." I hugged her tightly. "Hey, kiddo." She frowned. "Why do you look sad?" I forced a smile. "Long day. Mom isn't home yet." "She told you that." "She said she had work." I nodded. "Okay." Sophie grabbed my hand. "Can we watch a movie later?" "Of course." Half an hour later, Olivia walked through the door. She kissed my cheek. "Sorry I'm late." "No problem." Work was crazy. I looked into her eyes. For the first time, I wondered if she was lying. The thought made me feel sick. During dinner, I barely spoke. Olivia noticed. "Everything okay?" "Just tired." "You seem distant." "I could say the same thing about you." She paused. "What does that mean?" "Nothing." The conversation died. That night, I couldn't sleep. The phone call kept replaying inside my head. Around 7 the next evening, Olivia grabbed her purse. "I need to meet a client." "At night?" "It's important." "I see." She smiled. "I won't be long." The moment she left, I made a decision. I grabbed my keys. For the first time in my marriage, I followed my wife. Every mile felt wrong. Every turn made my stomach twist. Eventually, she parked near a small restaurant. I stayed back and watched. Then another car arrived. My heart nearly stopped. Ryan stepped out. Ryan Brooks, my best friend, the man I had known since childhood. I watched him walk toward Olivia. She smiled. Not a polite smile. Not a friendly smile. Something else. Something intimate. I felt cold. They entered the restaurant together. I followed and stayed hidden near the back. Then I heard them. Ryan left. I thought he might finally suspect something. Olivia sighed. "Ethan trusts me." The words hit like a punch. Ryan lowered his voice. Sometimes I almost feel guilty. She left softly. Almost, only almost. They both left. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Then Ryan reached across the table. I love you. Olivia squeezed his hand. I love you too. The room started spinning. My chest felt tight. 10 years. 10 years together. Gone. Destroyed in a few seconds. Ryan smiled. When are you going to tell him? Soon. And then we can finally be together. I wanted to storm inside. I wanted to scream. I wanted answers. Instead, I stood frozen. Every memory suddenly felt fake. Every promise felt worthless. The two people I trusted most had been lying to me. I left before they could see me. Outside, rain began falling from the dark sky. I stood alone on the sidewalk. Cars passed. People hurried by. Nobody knew my world had just ended. I looked toward the restaurant window. Ryan and Olivia were still smiling, still laughing, still pretending my life meant nothing. Rain soaked my clothes. I didn't care. The anonymous caller had been right. My wife wasn't where she said she was. She was with my best friend. And in that moment, standing alone in the rain, I realized the life we had built together had been shattered by one phone call. I barely slept after what I saw. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Ryan's voice. I love you. Then Olivia's answer. I love you too. The words replayed endlessly. The next morning, Olivia acted completely normal. Good morning, she said. I looked at her across the kitchen table. Morning. Did you sleep okay? Not really. She poured coffee. Work stress. You could say that. For a second, guilt flashed across her face. Then it disappeared. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I wanted to. Sophie walked into the kitchen. Daddy, are you sick? No. You look sad. I am okay. She hugged me. You don't feel okay. I forced a smile. I'll be fine. After she left for school, Olivia grabbed her purse. I might work late again. The lie came so easily. Really? Big project? I nodded. Good luck. The moment she left, I sat alone. I kept asking myself the same question. How long? How long had they been laughing behind my back? How long had I been the fool? By noon, I couldn't take it anymore. I called my brother Daniel. Can you meet me? His voice turned serious. What's wrong? I'll explain in person. An hour later, we sat in a quiet diner. Daniel stared at me. You look terrible. I caught Olivia. His expression hardened. Doing what? With Ryan. For several seconds, he said nothing. Then he leaned back. You're sure? I heard them. Them. I looked down. They said they love each other. Daniel sighed heavily. What are you going to do? I don't know. Don't do anything stupid. I want answers. You want revenge? Maybe. He shook his head. Not yet. What do you mean? You need facts. I already know enough. No, you don't. I frowned. What else is there? If they're hiding an affair, they could be hiding more. The idea made my stomach tighten. Daniel leaned forward. Get truth. Why? Because emotions lose battles. I remained silent. Facts win dumb. His words stayed with me. The next day, Daniel gave me a phone number. Who is this? A private investigator. I've never needed one. You've never needed to catch your wife cheating either. I stared at the number. Then I made the call. A calm voice answered. Marcus Hale speaking. My name is Ethan Carter. How can I help you? I think my wife is having an affair. Marcus paused. Tempt or no? I know. Then tell me everything. We met later that evening. Marcus listened carefully. When I finished, he nodded. I'll start immediately. How long? A few days. That's it. If they're careless, yes. They've been lying for a long time. Marcus closed his notebook. Liars usually get comfortable. The waiting nearly destroyed me. At home, Olivia continued acting normal. One night she sat beside me. You've been distant. I looked at her. Have I? Yes. Maybe I'm tired. She touched my arm. If something is wrong, talk to me. The hypocrisy made me furious. Instead, I simply nodded. Sure. 3 days later, Marcus called. We need to meet. My heart pounded. Did he find something? Yes. An hour later, I sat across from him. Marcus placed photographs on the table. Ryan and Olivia, holding hands, kissing, entering hotels, leaving restaurants. My chest tightened. How long? Marcus looked directly at me. At least 14 months. I closed my eyes. 14 months. More than a year. More than a year of lies. More than a year of humiliation. There is something else. I opened my eyes. What? Marcus slid several documents toward me. Financial records. I stared at them. I don't understand. Money has been moved from joint investments. My pulse quickened. How much? A lot. Where did it go? Accounts connected to your wife. I felt sick. What? Marcus nodded. And indirectly connected to Ryan. I gripped the edge of the table. They stole from me. It appears so. For a moment, I wanted to drive straight home and confront them. Instead, I remembered Danielle's advice. Facts win battles, not emotions. That evening, Sophie found me sitting alone. Daddy, yeah, why are you crying? I quickly wiped my eyes. I'm not. You are. I couldn't answer. She sat beside me. Did I do something wrong? The question shattered me. No. Then why are you sad? I hugged her tightly. You did nothing wrong. Promise? I promise. She wrapped her small arms around me. Then don't leave me. My throat tightened. I'm not going anywhere. At that moment, I realized this wasn't only about me anymore. It was about her. I had to be stronger. I had to be smarter. 2 days later, Marcus called again. His voice sounded grim. I found something important. What is it? Meet me. When I arrived, he handed me a folder. I opened it. Inside were messages, travel plans, and financial documents. My hands shook. Marcus pointed to one page. They're planning to leave. Leave? Together? I kept reading. Every word felt like another knife. They've been preparing for months. My voice dropped. After stealing our money. Marcus nodded. Yes. I stared at the evidence. The pain was still there. The anger was still burning. But something else was growing now. Determination. The broken man standing in the rain was gone. In his place stood someone who finally understood the truth. Ryan and Olivia weren't just betraying me. They were trying to take everything I had built. And for the first time since that phone call, I stopped feeling like a victim. I started planning my fight. For 30 days, I carried Marcus's folder everywhere. Every photograph, every bank record, every message. I looked at them over and over. The anger inside me kept growing. One night, I sat alone in my car outside Ryan's office. My phone was in my hand. When social media post, that was all it would take. I could expose everything. The affair, the stolen money, the lies. I imagined Ryan's reputation collapsing. I imagined Olivia facing the truth she had tried to hide. My finger hovered over the screen. Then my phone rang. Daddy, it was Sophie. Hey, sweetheart, when are you coming home? Soon. You forgot movie night. Guilt hit me immediately. I'm sorry. Are you working? Something like that. She hesitated. Mom says everything is okay. I closed my eyes. What do you think? I think, Yeo said. The innocence in her voice broke through my anger. I love you, Dad. I love you too. Then come home. The call ended. I looked at the evidence again. Then I locked my phone. For the first time, I realized revenge would hit more than Ryan and Olivia. It would hit Sophie too. The next morning, Danielle called. Have you done anything stupid? Not yet. Good. You sound relieved. I am. So what now? I found someone you need to meet. Who? A lawyer. I sighed. Danielle, just meet her. 2 days later, I sat across from Grace Miller. She looked calm, confident, and completely focused. Danielle introduced us. Grace, this is Ethan. She offered her hand. It's nice to meet you. I wish it were end in better circumstances. She nodded. Danielle told me the basics. Then you know my life is a disaster. No. I frowned. No. She leaned forward. Your marriage is a disaster. I remained silent. Your life isn't over. The words caught me off guard. I handed her Marcus's folder. She spent several minutes reviewing everything. Finally, she looked up. This is strong evidence. I want them punished. I understand. I want them to lose everything. Grace studied me carefully. Do you want justice or revenge? Aren't they the same thing? No. Her answer came instantly. What's the difference? Revenge is emotional. And justice is strategic. I leaned back. They betrayed me. I know. They stole from me. I know. They destroyed my family. Grace nodded. I know. I looked away. Then tell me why I shouldn't destroy them. Her voice softened. Because Sophie will be standing in the middle of the explosion. The room became quiet. I hated that she was right. After a moment, Grace spoke again. Let me help you do this properly. What does properly mean? It means protecting yourself. It means protecting your daughter. It means winning. That last word caught my attention. Winning. Not reacting. Not screaming. Winning. Over the next several weeks, Grace and I worked together. I quietly secured financial records. I moved remaining assets into protected accounts. I copied documents, saved emails, collected evidence. Meanwhile, Olivia acted as if nothing had changed. One evening, she sat beside me. You seem happier lately. I almost laughed. Happier? More relaxed? Maybe I've accepted some things. If she suspected anything, she didn't show it. Across town, Ryan remained equally confident. Marcus continued monitoring both of them. One afternoon, he called. I found something NUAL. What is it? A man named Victor Lang. The name meant nothing to me. Who is he? Ryan's business partner. Why does he matter? Marcus paused. Because his finances don't look clean. That got my attention. A day later, Marcus handed me another report. I flicked through the pages. What am I looking at? Shell companies. Illegal. Potentially. I kept reading. Several transactions involved Ryan. Large amounts of money. Unexplained transfers. Suspicious accounts. My stomach tightened. This is serious. Very. Does Olivia know? I don't know. For the first time, I realized Ryan's greed went far beyond an affair. This wasn't simply betrayal anymore. This was danger. That evening, I met Grace again. I placed Victor's file on her desk. She reviewed it carefully. Then she looked at me. Don't confront anyone. I wasn't planning to. Good. How bad is this? Worse than I expected. I stared at the papers. So I can destroy them right now. You could try. Her answer surprised me. Try? Grace nodded. Or you can stay patient. Why? Because people like this eventually expose themselves. I thought about Ryan. I thought about Olivia. I thought about every lie they had told. Every secret. Every stolen dollar. Every fake smile. Then I thought about Sophie. The choice suddenly became clear. A quick revenge would satisfy my anger. But patience would protect my future. And hers. I stood. Grace smiled slightly. Have you made your decision? Yes. What is it? I looked directly at her. I am then acting out of anger. And I am going to let the truth do the damage. Grace nodded. That's the right choice. As I left her office, I felt something I hadn't felt since that terrible phone call. Control. Ryan and Olivia thought they were winning. They thought I knew nothing. They thought they were building a future together. But their own choices were already pulling them toward disaster. I didn't need blind revenge anymore. I needed patience. I needed evidence. I needed justice. And for the first time, I was strong enough to wait for it. The following month changed everything. On the surface, I remained calm. Inside, I was preparing for war. Grace sat across from me in her office. We ready? I nodded. Let's do it. She slid several documents toward me. These are the legal filings. I signed each page. What happens now? Now we wait. I hate waiting. Grace smiled slightly. I know. For the first time, I wasn't acting from anger. I was following a plan. A week later, Marcus called. You need to see this. What happened? Victor Lane happened. An hour later, I sat across from him. Marcus handed me a report. I scanned the pages. Then I looked up. Victor turned on Ryan. Marcus nodded. Completely. Why? I continued reading. Financial records, emails, hidden transactions, evidence everywhere. My pulse quickened. This is enough to destroy him. It gets worse. Worse. Marcus pointed to another section. Authorities are already investigating. I stared at him. They know a lot. For the first time, I saw the beginning of Ryan's collapse. Days later, Ryan called me unexpectedly. Hey, brother. The word made my skin crawl. What do you need? He laughed nervously. Nothing. Just checking in. Really? Yay. You sound stressed. Silence. Then he forced a laugh. Business problems. Anything serious? No. The lie was obvious. After the call ended, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. That feeling disappeared when I remembered everything he had done. The following week, Olivia came home frustrated. She threw her purse onto the couch. "What's wrong?" she sighed. "Ryan is impossible lately." I pretended not to understand. "What happened?" "Nothing." She sat down heavily. "No, tell me." She rubbed her forehead. "He's ending pressure. From work, among other things." I nodded. "Interesting. Very interesting." The cracks were starting to show. A few days later, Marcus called again. "Ryan lost another contract." "How many now?" "3." I leaned back. "That's fast. It isn't over." "What else?" "Several partners are backing away." I smiled for the first time in weeks. Karma was moving faster than I expected. Meanwhile, Sophie spent more time with me. One Saturday, we sat in the park eating ice cream. "Dad?" "Yeah." "Can I ask something?" "Always." She looked down. "Are you and Mom fighting?" The question hit. "A little." "Because of me?" "No." "Promise?" "I promise." She nodded slowly. Then she wrapped her arms around me. "I like being with you." My throat tightened. "I like being with you too." Those simple moments helped me heal more than anything else. Later that evening, I visited my mother. Linda poured tea and sat beside me. "You look different." "Good different or bad different?" "Stronger." I smiled faintly. "I am trying." She studied my face. "Are you still angry?" "Yes." "At Olivia?" "At both of them." Linda nodded. "That's natural." "I am tired of carrying it." She reached over and squeezed my hand. "Then start carrying it." If only it were that easy. "It is." I frowned. "No, it isn't." She smiled softly. "Bitterness keeps people connected." "What does that mean?" "It means you're still allowing them to control part of your heart." I stared at my tea. "I never thought about it like that." "Let karma do its job." I left quietly. "Everyone keeps saying that." "Because it's true." Her words stayed with me. The following month, Grace called with important news. "We have a hearing scheduled." "Already?" "Yes." "What are our chances?" "Very good." When the hearing day arrived, I sat inside the courtroom. Across the room sat Olivia. She avoided my eyes. For the first time, she looked exhausted. Judge Delano Reed entered. Everyone stood. The hearing began. Evidence was presented. Financial records, messages, witness statements, everything. At one point, Judge Reed looked directly at Olivia. "Do you dispute these records?" Olivia lowered her head. "No." The answer echoed through the room. Later, outside the courthouse, Grace smiled. "That went well." "You think so?" "I know so." For the first time, I felt hope. Not revenge. Hope. Over the next several weeks, custody arrangements shifted. Sophie spent increasingly more time with me. Grace explained why. The evidence helped. I nodded. And Olivia, her decisions are hurting her case. I didn't celebrate. I simply accepted it. One evening, Marcus gave me another update. "Ryan is drowning." "That Ed." "Worse." "What happened now?" "That." I wasn't surprised. "And Olivia?" Marcus sighed. "She's starting to realize who Ryan really is." I looked out the window. What do you mean? She expected freedom and success. And she found secrets, stress, and unpaid bills. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then Marcus added one final sentence. She's regretting everything. That night, I sat alone in my living room. I thought about the woman I married. I thought about the family we built. I thought about all the choices that led us here. Then the doorbell rang. I checked the time. Almost 10 o'clock. Who could that be? I opened the door. My breath caught. Olivia stood there. Her eyes were red. Tears streamed down her face. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she finally whispered the words I never expected to hear. Ethan, please. My heart tightened. She looked completely broken. I need to talk to you. I remained silent. Her voice trembled. Please give me a chance to explain. I stared at Olivia for several seconds. Rain fell behind her. The woman standing at my door barely resembled the confident person who had walked away from our marriage. Can I come in? She asked. I stepped aside. She entered quietly. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she sat down and covered her face. I am sorry. I remained standing. Sorry for what? Her shoulders shook. For everything. I waited. She looked up. I don't even know where to start. Start with the truth. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I got selfish. I said nothing. I started feeling unhappy. Why? I don't know. The answer hit more than I expected. She continued. We had a good life. Yes. We had a beautiful daughter. Yes. We had stability. I folded my arms. Then I threw it away. Her voice broke. Because I was stupid. The room fell silent. Finally, she spoke again. Ryan made me feel excited. I closed my eyes briefly. I thought I deserved more. More than what? More than an ordinary life. I left bitterly. And how did that work out? She lowered her head. It didn't. No. She wiped away tears. I thought I was chasing happiness. And I was destroying it. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then she whispered something that surprised me. I hate who I became. I sat across from her. Do you know what hit most? She nodded slowly. The affair. No. She looked confused. The lies. My voice remained calm. Every morning. Every fake smile. Every fake promise. Every time you looked me in the eyes and lied. She began crying again. I know. No, you don't. She stared at me. I took a deep breath. That phone call destroyed me. Her expression changed. What phone call? I told her everything. The anonymous warning. The restaurant. The conversation I overheard. When I finished, she looked horrified. You heard us. Every word. She covered her mouth. Oh, God. I nodded. That's when my marriage ended. Motives followed. Then she asked the question I knew was coming. Can we fix this? The room became painfully quiet. Part of me remembered our wedding day. Part of me remembered holding Sophie for the first time. Part of me remembered the woman I once loved. But another part remembered 14 months of betrayal. I looked directly at her. I forgive you. Hope flashed across her face. Then I continued. But I can't trust you. The hope disappeared instantly. Ethan. No. She started crying harder. Please. I mean it. People make mistakes. This wasn't one mistake. She looked away. I continued. This was 1,000 choices. She couldn't argue, because she knew it was true. A week later, Ryan's collapse became public. Marcus called me. It's over. What happened? Everything. I listened quietly. Financial investigations, frozen accounts, public accusations, business failures. The list kept going. When he finally finished, I sighed. He's alone now. Completely. I ended the call and stared out the window. Months earlier, I would have celebrated. Now I felt nothing. The hatred was gone. Later that afternoon, Grace met me outside the courthouse. You ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Inside, Judge Elanio Reed reviewed the final documents. The hearing lasted less than an hour. When it ended, she looked toward me. Emma Carter, these arrangements prioritize your daughters. Thank you, Your Honor. She nodded. The decision protected Sophie's future. That was all I cared about. Outside, Grace smiled. You win. I shook my head. It doesn't feel like winning. What does it feel like? I thought for a moment. Peace. She smiled. That's better. The following weekend, Sophie and I spent the entire day together. We went to the park. We watched movies. We ate too much pizza. That night, she curled up beside me on the couch. Dead? Yeah. You're happier now. I smiled. Am I? Yes. She hugged me tightly. I'm glad. I kissed the top of her head. So am I. After she fell asleep, I sat quietly in the living room. For the first time in months, my mind felt calm. No anger, no obsession, no revenge, just acceptance. My phone suddenly rang. Unknown number. My heart skipped a beat. I answered. Hello? For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then a familiar voice finally said, I thought you deserved the truth. I immediately recognized the sentence. The anonymous caller. The person who changed everything. I leaned back. You were the van. Yes. Why? A brief silence followed. Then the caller answered. Because what was happening to you was wrong. I looked toward the hallway where Sophie was sleeping. You saved me. I only told you the truth. That truth cost me my marriage. The caller paused. Maybe. I smiled faintly. But it saved my life. No answer came. A moment later, the line disconnected. I stared at the phone for several seconds. Then I set it down. Months ago, I believed that phone call had destroyed everything. I thought it had taken my family, my future, my happiness. I was wrong. The call didn't destroy my life. It revealed the lie I had been living. Losing Olivia had. Losing my best friend had. But finding the truth gave me something more valuable. Freedom. As I turned off the lights and headed upstairs, I felt something I hadn't felt in a very long time. Hope. My old life was gone. My new life was just beginning. And this time, it would be built on truth.